Everybody, we are live. We are live, and Flagler Weekly is back. And
Once again.
we have my friend Kat Jankowski in the building. I'm sorry, Kat Jankowski.
Right.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well too. I want to thank you for coming here
Of course.
and supporting me as always, like you always do.
Of course.
And you know, I'm excited to hear about what you have going on. So before we get into all that, how's everything been going?
It's going good. I'm on Flagler Beach side now.
Okay.
So I love when that whole group's like, don't make me cross the bridge. But,
Yeah.
you got to come cross the bridge to see me.
It's a real thing.
Slightly. It
It's
is a real thing.
It's a real thing.
People don't want to leave the beach side. But it's been a really great post and moving over to Flagler Beach because it's more busy. I outgrew my little 2-room space.
Turn down, but you can still.
Yeah, I'm good.
The locals, which, we love because we love taking care of locals. But you get a lot of people traveling who accommodate to a lot of people.
Awesome. So
So originally born in St. Augustine, my family, my dad's side of the family, moved to
wow.
a long
Okay.
time ago. Dirt
Nothing,
roads, right?
right,
I think there was one road branch.
Yeah, I
north
came
and
here
south
in
together.
1990,
Yes.
so I can only imagine.
And over there by John's Junkyard, and so area for our family for a long time, and then I have family and wonderful produce out there. But so I moved to this like 89.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How old were you? L.
But
In middle school. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
and then I did.
Definitely.
Hmm.
Evacuate somewhere.
So when the fires, I want to say it was like 16th Street South. So we did leave because,
Mhm.
I want to say we went to like Altamont-ish. Unfortunately, the north side of town, and it's hard to remember the trees. There was nothing left. So I think that was really a big. They started to kind of come together after those fires. Kind of what makes our community a little bit different. It seems the people coming in lately. It seems like in Palm Coast, Bunnell, Flagler Beach, everybody rallied together to kind of become one support.
Yeah, and the thing about these days, Bez definitely like kind of stayed here a bit longer. The close knitness of Flagler there. So you're
Total healing and wellness.
healing and wellness. Ronnie, yeah, I remember we were talking about that before we got. So it's a massage place, but this is more of like a salon type vibe.
I really don't categorize it as massage. There, I am a therapist. We have massage therapy. We have sports rehab practitioner. We have esthetician. Have the gambit.
All right.
It's kind of bringing. I would love to have PT specific come out there that wants to donate. Whole person, right?
So this is more like a whole or a medical.
Right.
Well, I don't want to say I don't want to say alternative medicine either. Well, that's really cool. There.
I've been here. We're going.
Okay. So but you've had this business longer than that, right?
Yeah, so I did side town, north side Palm Coast.
Okay.
And prior to doctor's office, doing home visits.
You originally got injured path.
Yeah, so coming out of high school and college, I did lots of things, and finance, and then
Mm-hmm.
I broke my ankle and leg there, and then sometimes a door for you, and then he's going to close one behind business and go this route. T clinic, worked there 7 years under some really fabulous mentors and therapists. Kind of just decided to go this route.
So it was like a kitchen slip.
Yeah, it was really a nightmare, and things in our life to make us more empathetic. So many things in my lifetime, so I think it allows me to be able to empathy because I probably experienced anything that they're going to tell me or anything, which is, to me, it's a blessing. At the time it was happening, it was not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough. I broke my foot last year. And so I've been dealing with that. And this has been like now.
It's
Yeah, and it's rough, and like I couldn't
recovery.
really imagine, like, your job is a chef. You're standing there a lot of I couldn't if I had a job this foot, because it's okay now, it still hurts, but at least bend my foot.
Right,
Like
absolutely.
it's bad.
First thing that hits the ground,
Yeah.
right? So, and you don't control the inflammation and the pain, you're going to ask for problems up the chain.
So I don't want to talk about my partner shape. And let's say I wanted to get like, I'm going to try. I got like,
That tire.
yeah, like, okay, so like here,
Hold on, we got to mention some personal trainer as well. That's why you
personal
asked.
trainer. Yes.
That's why you
yes.
asked.
I'm not just showing how I can't get rid of it. Like, I'm trying. Is walking. A friend of mine says jogging. I've heard that's true or not. That's what I want to ask you. But I heard you out there. You said bodies are changed in the kitchen.
Bodies are built in. Absolutely.
Can you break that down for me?
Sure thing. Okay, so what you put, but it's not just about hunger pains. It's really about, and where's it going? Is it being used as energy? Is it being stored as fat? Is it nutritious? Is the body getting you in some sort of weird? And so when the body's in this weird stage of, I'm not getting the right type of calories, it's going to go into this shock, and it's going to hold everything you got, right? Because it doesn't know how to let go, because the body's afraid that, well, so let me hold on to all this stuff.
And the other day, and the guy was saying that, like, first, but you have to train your body to burn fat. Is that like a thing too?
That's kind of with like the keto diet and the keto fad. So about, calories in, but macros in, macros out, macronutrients, proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Be on, let's say, a 2,000 calorie diet. Are you eating 2,000 calories of? You're not going to get any change there, right?
I would say we eat like 90% meat. Allegedly, that's supposed to like make you burn fat. And like, I guess weighed myself the other day, and like, I'm actually like, now I know that but I don't think I've gained as much weight and muscle as fat that I lost.
Right.
If you run a calorie deficit.
I'm going to throw something out there for you, and I want you to do some research on it.
Okay.
It's called eating. And I only say things that I have done myself and either failed and from it. So, eating ideology of eating that has its own enzymes, has its own digestive enzymes, has its own way. And certain foods on that list are poison to the blood type, and certain foods are beneficial. So for myself, I'm O, right? So it's the red meats, it's the green, it's the fish, right? So starting in January, I merged my whole, and nobody could really figure out what was going on. So I said, you know what? It's long, what the Western medicine doctors can't figure out. So I started in type, and the first thing I noticed was the pain, all that stuff started to go away. And so a lot of the weight that we hold is actually inflammation.
Yep.
And the blood, I mean, you could hold probably 10 pounds inflammation and not even.
Lower back. That's when I feel that pain. I could definitely feel the muscle like.
And that's interesting. I've never heard anything about blood type dieting before. So
You need to do some research on it.
I've been getting on him. They had me take like physical therapy classes and stuff like that. And one thing they told me is that the same workout 2 days in a row.
Absolutely not.
Can you explain?
So you got to hit different muscle groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, being that they put you to take physical therapy, here's the deal. So let's say you go into the gym and you have a heavy chest day, right?
Like doing a 5K on a row machine.
Yeah, the row machine.
told you.
Wait, so would you say that's heavy or lightweight?
Let me explain to her an issue. And he's like, "Oh, that's working out," and I'm like, "I guess not working out," because we also do like that's like cardio.
It's inside Planet Fitness. How is it not working out?
Walking is working out.
Thank you.
Walk is probably the best exercise you can do to stabilize your hormones. So I always suggest everybody walk. But to get back to your question, rowing is a very exercise because you're hitting all of your muscle groups basically, right? So you go pushing off with your legs, you're rowing, you're working your back. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff going on there.
And you can like really alter like what you're doing too. Pull back more with like my stomach, or I'll go underhand and do like so you can kind of like mix it up. And I think that's what he's not getting about it.
I think like he'll do it, and then like I'll talk to him like, "Oh, what did you yesterday?" I'm like, "Bro, I don't think you should do like back-to-back days like really going hard trying to like PR and stuff like that."
Right. So if your goals are to cut weight, the best and most effective way to burn fat is to build muscle. You can run on a treadmill all day long. You can do marathons all day long. What's going to happen? So now you have a problem. So if you're wanting to cut fat, that's great. You want to get on a treadmill and run? Fine. Some people lose weight like that. But you stay off that treadmill for 2 weeks and you go back to your regular scheduled lifetime style of eating right back. Now on the other side, if you start weight training 4 days a week, lifting moderately heavy, getting that heart rate, experience, then you're going to start building muscle and start burning fat at rest. So you won't have to do anything.
Energy faster than your fat, right?
Absolutely.
So the more you got, see, that's why I'm like having a problem too, because I don't, I like we were like say like 6 months ago, we were going to the gym a lot more, not eating a lot, and I felt like that was bad for me because I wasn't eating enough to heal myself.
It really depends on activity. You know what I mean? Like, so a really great way to kind of get this fat loss journey started is to intermittent fast.
See, I do that, and I cut the sugar out. I get,
Well, you maybe need to start logging your food, because if you're saying you're in a calorie deficit, you have to remember that animal protein is high in calories. So, are you eating 12 ounces of beef and now you're at like 1,000 calories? You know what I mean? And that's only
true.
one meal. So you kind of have to look at it.
So you think that only eating 1 meal a day is good?
No,
No, you don't think that?
absolutely not.
Okay.
Not over your weight training. No.
All right. Not for weight training.
So
Eat for your activity.
the original point is, like, don't do that workout every day. Like, you should do it like twice a week.
You need active recovery, right? Like I was saying. So let's say you went to the gym and you did a heavy chest workout. The last thing you want to do is go back to the gym and do another heavy chest workout, because you have now inflamed the muscle and the joint, and you got to let that muscle group kind of do its thing.
I listened to this like old bodybuilding trainer guy. Like, he's got a lot of like get out, but he's said a lot of stuff and wrote books about it. And his theory is, he says that like people work out too much, and his whole thing is high intensity training, like once a week. You agree with that?
It really depends on what you're going to accomplish. There's going to be 55,000 different takes on the same thing, right? Exercise has not changed ever since the day it had been started.
True.
Thousands of years ago, but everybody has a different take, because it's about marketing and making money and selling stuff. And it's also, you have to be very personalized. You have to look at what's going on in your life. Or do you have a high stress job? A lot for work? Are you in a seated position most of your day? Are you sedentary? Do you have a manual based, are you working outside? Are you a construction worker or a painter? So you really have to look at the whole gambit. And a lot of it comes from stress. If you're high stress, your hormones are probably taxed, and you're not going to lose weight.
I'm definitely not. That's like my whole thing.
I'm high stress.
Yeah.
I used to live a much more stressful lifestyle, and then I stopped. Because I don't really, we're out here in Flagler. The job's pretty easy. Like,
Cross the bridge.
kids are taken care of. Yeah, it's nice.
All right. So, sorry, I had this is a little bit more Palm Coast based, but how do you feel the health and wellness of Flagler County, like, especially when the pandemic came and there was a lot of people being sick? Like, I kind of heard about this on Joe Rogan, but they said they weren't really pushing a lot of health and wellness, but I feel like Palm Coast is pretty good about it. They have like walks and stuff, but is there anything that you might, like, an idea if, like, say somebody from City of Palm Coast is watching or something? What do you think we might need more of in Palm Coast or Flagler County?
Free community services. So anybody who would love to invest in my scheme of ideas, wellness.com.
Nice.
Anyhow, so
Share this and click that little link in the description and follow her business.
so it needs to start with the kids, right? And so let's say we had an unlimited amount of funds, we had an unlimited amount of space to do things in, right? There needs to be some sort of YMCA program here. There needs to be something where you can teach children foundational exercise, nutrition, diet, stress management, all of those things. Because there's nothing for kids here, right? There's nothing. And so when you take a child and they go from childhood to now you have puberty and adolescence, there's a huge shift there, and a lot of it's weight gain, right? Because now our kids, they do nothing but stay on their phones and their tablets and computers. So
Yeah, I see that more, like, with kids younger than
absolutely.
baby. Yeah, like 10, 12. Because
Yeah. So if you can get a child from a young age to start developing these really good habits and getting to this disciplined mindset, it's going to translate into teenage and adulthood. And so sometimes, when you offer services to adults, they pick and choose. They're busy. There's work. There's family. There's all this other stuff. But children get excited because other children are excited. Adults don't really get excited about a whole lot of things unless it's,
True. Money related.
money related, alcohol's involved,
Yeah.
there's a party, you know what I mean? So I think starting free community events, teaching children how to exercise properly, number one, what proper nutrition looks like, how to do it at home if you're by yourself, and just developing a community of young adults who knows how to live a healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
Yeah, even like, but even the parents of them too. Like, you know, like I don't want to like say anybody's name and stuff, but I'll see like some people and like in the morning they'll like give their kids like really crappy food, but they think they're doing like, oh, I gotta get food my kid breakfast, but it's like a gigantic pile of waffles or a bagel with cream cheese and ham, like, you know, just a lot, and it's like, and they don't know because they think they're.
This is all really bad learned behaviors that we learned, you know, even when we were in school, right? Well, look at what the kids are fed now in schools, right? They get a honey bun, that's their carbohydrate. They get milk, that's their dairy, and they get a cheese stick, that's their protein. That's asinine. Asinine, absolutely. If you look at food, I just saw a podcast the other day about what they're feeding children in Japan and Italy and Spain. It's quite different than what we feed our children here in schools.
And a lot of stuff is like illegal. A lot of the processed foods that we have.
And there's nothing processed over there.
But let me ask you, do you think that this is by design? You know, I've heard that like they're trying to like create some drug where they have the drug out that they want to get kids on now for obesity, and then they have to stay on that drug for life.
Because what happens is when you, speaking about children, when you start feeding these children from the time they wake up in the morning, they go to school, these processed, sugary, high carbohydrate, no nutrient dense foods, now you develop this problem of insulin resistance, right? And so now the body doesn't know how to respond. It doesn't know how to function without this sugary stuff. It needs all these sugary, carbohydrate-full foods in order to function, right? And so now you're looking at diabetes down the road.
So you're saying you get used to producing all this excessive insulin, and that's all right.
And so now let's combat that with a medication that you can inject into yourself to kind of combat that insulin resistance and help you lose weight. But if you stay on it, you're fine. You come off of it, you're not.
Yeah, and I heard that you like the one that you can't come off of it. I don't remember the exact name of the drug that I was hearing about, but they wanted it's like a lifetime
Heroin.
drug.
It's probably like Ozempic or Mounjaro or something like that. Well, yes and no. Okay, so it depends on the mindset of why you're taking it. If you're taking it because you just want to lose weight, you're tired of being overweight, and you just want to look good naked, right? You just want to look good in your clothes. Okay, fine. If you take the drug and you totally change your lifestyle, you change your diet, you change your exercise pattern, you change your mindset, you change your stress. When you come off of that, there's supplementation that you can take to help you maintain your sugar cravings. But now you've developed a lifestyle. Now you've disciplined yourself to stay away from the things you're not supposed to be eating, and you're already eating the things you're supposed to. So theoretically, you don't need to take it forever.
True.
But who's going to want to do that, honestly?
Right.
If you're taking something that's giving you results, why not just keep taking?
But I think
that's
that
giving you results?
they, and I say they, you know, they want you to stay on it forever, so they don't want you to learn those things, you know, and they figure that most people are lazy because they are, and they're not going to do that.
Right. Because everyone has developed this lifestyle of laziness. I mean, even look at the economy right now. You can't find people to work anywhere, right? Nobody wants to work. If they do work, they work a week and then they leave. Look at Flagler Beach restaurants right now. There's help wanted signs everywhere because the foundation of hard work equals success is no longer being taught. It's not being taught at home. It's not being taught at school. It's not being taught in the workplace. It's kind of like a free-for-all now.
I agree with that.
So the easiest path people can take is what they're going to take.
Definitely.
Do you think that's the same thing that's kind of going on in Hollywood when they're doing like that? Have you heard about what is that?
Diabetic.
The diabetic. It's like there's like a diabetic medicine that people in Hollywood are taking. They're using as weight loss.
That's what she was just saying. Yeah.
Ozempic.
Okay, that's the same thing. I was just making sure that's what that was. So I kind of wanted to ask, what exactly would you call your position, and how does like a day look for you?
I do so much stuff in my clinic, right? I do, basically, I'm a manual therapist, right? I do everything but manually adjust the spine with high velocity thrust. I do just about everything else, right? I do corrective exercise, functional movement, manual corrections, muscle activations. We do rock taping. I do cranial sacral, lymphatic drainage. We do all kinds of stuff. So it's kind of hard to put a name on exactly what I do. And so sometimes people ask me, oh, what do you do? And it's like, God, I'm a firefighter. I'm putting out fires. Like people coming in
Especially
with
as
a
a
fire
business
and I'm
owner.
putting it out. You know what I mean? So it's basically I'm just helping those people who are lost, who have been through the gambit, they've been the Western medicine, they've tried PT, they've tried chiropractic, they've tried all these different modalities, and they've had no relief. My job is to kind of take a step back, listen to what they're saying, but watch how they're saying it, watch how their body moves, and then decide, okay, here's the primary cause of the problem. Because the issue is that most doctors aren't finding the primary root of the problem. They're covering it up. Oh, you have pain? Here's some muscle relaxers. Go to PT.
That's like a deeper thing too, because like once I'm like a conspiracy theorist. Once they started making the petroleum drugs and they started funding the medical schools, all they did was teach them this, prescribe this, prescribe this.
Right.
And then they took away all the training for doctors to not do anything except
And if a doctor
prescribe.
does, now it's like your license is on the line.
And that's what I was saying too. Like, back when they first started this, I guess in like the 20s, 30s, and they started discrediting medical schools that didn't follow their same path, trying to make it seem like that's some hippie crap.
Right.
That's not like real stuff. When forever, that's what people did before.
And that's why so many people are going that holistic route. They're looking for DOs, they're looking for naturopaths, they're looking for people outside the box. You know what I mean? And so it's probably the most gratitude I have is when someone comes to me who has been everywhere and they're kind of desperate. And I've had that desperation, right? I've been in their shoes. I've been desperate and like begging for help and couldn't find it. And so when they come to me, it's like, okay, my job, God has given me this role to play. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I have to kind of figure out what is the physical deficit, what's causing this actual physical pain, and what is the emotional attachment behind it. We got to get rid of that too. Because if you don't address the physical and the emotional traumas that have happened to cause this problem, it's going to keep reoccurring.
So let me ask you this. So I go to your clinic for the first time. Because like you say, you put out fires. So you're going to like create like a care plan for different modalities or...
So what I
What do
do,
they call it?
I don't nickel and dime, right? So you pay one price and I'm going to do whatever I need to do.
But you like look at my case
Do
and
it.
say, okay, you need this, you need that. And then you kind of just manage
And
that
do it.
between all the people that you have working for you to do it.
Kind of.
Kind of.
If I can't resolve it in 3-4 visits, then I'll say, okay, the chiropractor in my office is phenomenal. Something's going on at this level in your spine. Perhaps maybe give him a try. Let him see if he can work it out.
Okay. So that's good. That's like, so, but you're not just like come in here, pay for this. You're actually looking at people's cases and really trying to solve problems for them.
Yeah, so the first time you come in, I'm listening to everything going on, and then I'm treating you because I want to see how much relief am I going to get from, okay, let's just fix the foundationals first, and let's see how you respond. And so a lot of times, I want to say 60% of the time, we have a really positive outcome for that, because you have to remember pain is never where pain is at. So pain is coming from somewhere else. It's just kind of posing in a spot for the time.
That's deep.
So, and also emotionally, how attached are they to that pain? Do you ever hear an older person say, it's 6 o'clock, I gotta take my medicine. It's 8 o'clock, I gotta take my medicine. There's an emotional attachment to that person taking medication.
I used to be a nurse in the hospital for a while, and like people that were on drugs, they knew
Right.
when that was, it didn't
Because
matter.
they know when
would,
they
like,
come off of that or they start to detox slightly off of that medication, all hell's breaking loose.
Wow.
And they don't want to experience that again. So the internal clock, just like a woman has an internal clock for having a baby, people who take lots of medications, they have an internal clock. It's time to take this medicine. I need to take it before this happens. And then
I always see people like wake up because they knew, I guess, internally that it was that time, and
Wow.
then I need my pills. I'm hurting.
Absolutely.
It's like, are you?
Absolutely. I see it every day.
In fact, I get seeing this lady that I follow, and like, I love to hate her. I don't want to say her name, but she was like complaining about her or opiates. I can't get my opiates. I'm opiates.
Please don't say the name.
I'm not going to.
So that kind of like, what were you gonna say?
Well, no, I was just gonna say I'm like conflicted because like people's pain is subjective, is what they say.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I do think that there is enabling and justifying also.
Right.
So,
I would like to take this a moment. I appreciate everybody watching this. If you could, please go follow her business page. It's in the description. And also share this, please, so we can get out to more people. We're talking to Kat Jankowski. And so the question that I had was, how does mental health play into physical health? So I know we're talking about the pills, but like something with me, and I'm not going to just hang it up on mental health, but like there's like a blockage. There's like,
Absolutely.
it's like the gym is like right there in my apartment complex, like right there. I can see it from my balcony when I smoke in the morning, but it's like,
And we're going to talk about that.
oh no. But you know, it's like that, I think that's more overeating. But anyways, what's up with the blockage? Like why don't I want to go to the gym?
Okay, I'm going to give you a personal experience, and then I'll give you another experience or another example. So when I broke my ankle and leg, had surgery, it failed. Okay. The mechanism of me breaking it was falling into an open space and falling over it and breaking straight across, right? So straight across the shin and on the ankle. And so the doctor's saying you'll never be able to run again. You'll never be able to jump again. You'll never be able to do these things. So let's say 2 years down the road, I'm recovered and I'm training for my very first Spartan race. And I need to start jumping onto something. I need to box jump. I damn near have a panic attack standing in front of this box because I'm like, oh my God, I can't do it. And the person that was with me at that time helping me, he's like, what do you mean? It's fine. Just do it. I'm like, you don't understand. I can't. My body will not allow me to do it. So there was such a mental block there, not only because I was afraid I was going to hit that same spot that broke and experience that same exact pain and disability and go through all that shit again.
That's true.
And so let's say that you got hurt when you were training. Let's say when you're in high school, you play football, right?
I did get hurt.
So let's say that they make you, what is it? They make you deadlift how much to be on varsity?
Let's say 400.
Okay. So let's say you went to go deadlift 400 pounds and you felt something pop in your back, right? Horrible pain. You're out for the season, yada, yada. Now you're an adult. And it's like, I need to go to the gym. And you're like, the memory and the emotional trauma that you had when you were deadlifting in a gym setting is there. And it's like, no, sir, you're not doing it.
You know, and this is like 2005-ish was when I was really deep in football. And it's definitely a completely different world than it is now. And they had us going crazy 2-3 a days type stuff. You know what I mean?
Too much.
Working out outside in the sun, then going and working out, then going back outside. It's crazy. And like, then I played college football. They had us waking up 6 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, I sound like my mom, but I had to walk up like a mile up a mountain because I was in St. Louis and it's snowing and stuff like that. But this is real
No
talk.
shoes.
For real. Well, I had shoes. But like, man, like you would take a shower in the morning, then you walk to class. Anyways, like all that is like traumatizing to me.
Right.
Like
And
I
you
had to
hated
go.
the experience.
I had to go hard. Yeah, like
You hated it.
people like that's why it's hard for me to like kind of work out with other people because like I've even tried to work out with ex-girlfriends and stuff. I'm like, come on. They're like, I'm tired. I'm like, okay, this is the point when you go harder. Like this is when you want to go harder.
Right.
This is where everybody else quits at. And they're like, John, like chill. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Right.
I don't know what we're doing here now. Like,
So-
what are we doing?
So I'm going to throw this out there. Don't do anything in life unless you're obsessed by it. If you're not obsessed about it, don't do it. Because what you're going to do, you're going to start hating it.
That's true.
And then you're never going to want to do it again.
That's true.
So
We were
many
just
people
talking
have
about
told
podcasting
me.
with them.
Yeah, so many people have told me like, you know, I was obsessed. I was in the gym every day and blah, 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 blah. Now they won't go back to the gym, like you said, you know, or they were a bodybuilder and they ate the same thing for 6 months. Now they have an eating disorder because they hated it. You have to learn to love what you're doing, even if it's hard, even if it sucks, whatever. Everything sucks, right? Going to work sucks, being an adult sucks. Okay, whatever. But you need to be disciplined enough to know the difference between this is what I need to do, and this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to love it, and I have to do this because I have to do it, and I hate it.
Right. One of those things where like it's either going to suck now or suck later.
Right. And in your case, perhaps do something outside the gym first, like, but schedule it. Put it on your Google Calendar. Like every day at 6 o'clock, I'm going to walk 6 miles.
Wow.
Boom. Done. And do that for 2 weeks. And week number 2, add something else to it. Week number 3, add something else to it. And then when you're ready to go to the gym, have a plan. Don't walk into the gym and take a look, be like, holy crap, what do I do? There's so much stuff. There's people everywhere.
I like
Go
playing
with a plan.
basketball. Like I like getting like a LA Fitness membership or even outside, but I like playing basketball. You know,
LA Fitness, you need to come to Palm Coast or Flagler Beach.
Yeah.
There's plenty of space over here. You can take over BJ's. Nobody wants to go there anyhow. That would be awesome. But
we do need one out here. I would love like somewhere that has an indoor basketball court
right.
in Flagler County.
Indoor pool.
Definitely.
So when we get that big investor, we will build it.
I think there is an indoor pool.
It shut down like a year ago.
Oh dang, the one over by Old Kings and 100.
So it's a private owner now. They do like swim classes.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. The smoking thing. You said you were gonna talk about it.
Well, I mean, what are you smoking? Cigarettes?
Marijuana. I have a medical card.
Okay.
I have a medical card.
But what I will say is like, I eat a lot afterwards and late night.
That's a problem.
Is it a myth or is it truth that you shouldn't eat after like 8 p.m. or something like
It
that?
depends on your body and what your goals are. So if you're eating and then going to sleep, you know,
I love doing that.
there's a lot of research all over the place about that. But is your body, is it digesting? Is it metabolizing? You know, when your body is supposed to be repairing and emptying out the digestive tract and getting everything to where it needs to be, now you have a full stomach. Something to think about.
Yeah, you're investing energy in the wrong thing. If
Right,
you do that at
digesting
night.
food instead of healing muscle or
It kind of like, it makes me tired and I go to sleep easy. I just feel like, I don't know.
well, I
I
mean,
feel like that's what animals do.
maybe you need to address why you can't sleep to begin with.
I mean, I think, I don't think I have a problem sleeping.
This is real talk show. This is
Yeah.
a real talk
Yeah,
show.
I don't think I have a problem sleeping. It's just like what I enjoy. That's my problem. I like.
You developed a habit that
I
your body
indulge-
enjoys.
Yeah, I like. That's the great thing. I enjoy doing things I enjoy too much.
Right.
Every day I have to enjoy something.
Right.
And a lot of times.
Right.
And a lot of times.
Yeah, like morning, noon, and night. I want to enjoy. It's like I
So
kind of want
you're looking to other things for self-fulfillment.
break that down. Like, wouldn't that be though me being self-fulfilled though, or
So
in a short term?
short term. So let's say, you know, you were talking about eating food. Mm-hmm. You're self-indulging into food to kind of satisfy something that you're missing on the inside.
Nah, but seriously, yes, you're right. But what is it that I'm missing on the inside?
That I don't know. And there's little tweaks that you can do and little changes in behavior and changes in habits that you can try, you know, instead of, you know, if you really want to go on this health journey, you're going to have to start changing it up a little bit.
The crazy thing is, I don't even want to. I have to.
Yeah.
I have to.
That's where I'm at because
Yeah.
I'm like 40 now.
Yeah,
And, like
it's like my back. I feel it. Like if I stand for too long, my feet start to go nuts, or my legs. Like I'm like, I don't want to have to get my legs cut off. Dave keeps on telling me like,
Amputation.
yeah, he's like, well, John, you know, 73%. But yeah, man, that's scary. Like, why do people have to get their legs cut off?
I mean, a plethora of reasons. I mean,
Whoa,
usually because it's totally non-working. The nerves aren't working. There's no blood supply. There's no circulation. It's tissue damage.
yeah, and diabetes
infection.
like messes up your smaller veins in your body, or arteries rather.
I mean, you're far from that,
Yeah.
but
But see, John will eat
You said
like,
I'm far
like
from
if you
that?
go out to eat with John, he'll order 2 entrees every time. So I don't know if that's good for him or not, because he does a lot of stuff though. That's why I don't understand. Like, but he stays up but he gets up like really early all the time. Like,
That's what I'm saying. I don't really have a problem sleeping. My only problem is like I enjoy hustling. Like I probably would Uber all night or something
Right.
like that. You know what I mean? Then like work during the day and stuff. But like
It's a hard lifestyle to live. How old are you?
34,
Okay.
and
So about
I'm
42 years old, your body's going to be like, mm-mm,
yeah,
we're done with this.
yeah, and like I'm trying to beat it. You know what I mean? I see the future and stuff, and also I look at like statistics and like my dad had a heart attack and stuff like
Right.
that. So
Well, you're on the right road. I mean, you verbalized
Mm-hmm.
that it's time for a change.
yeah,
So my suggestion to you would be make small changes over
Mm-hmm.
a period of time.
okay. Back to the eating thing, like. Okay, I know I shouldn't eat McDonald's. We don't need to go there. Okay,
Okay.
I had it on the way here,
Okay.
and I had it last night. But it's so good, man. But it's like it's so quick. That's the thing. Like,
It's convenient.
you know what I mean? Like,
see, that's what I don't understand though, because he does that, but we don't do that. Like we have like fresh veg. We don't eat anything processed really at all. And like, I'm like, don't go to McDonald's, man. And you're like, I'm like, look at me, and I'm like, look at you, what? You know, doing that, you know.
but I think honestly, and it's kind of thing like, man, from like, not I would just say through high school because I didn't really play. Well, I did play soccer early, but it's like. I don't think you played sports when you were younger and stuff like that, but like I think it's just a muscle memory at this point that's saving me a lot of the
Right.
time. You know what I mean? But I think you could do more pull-ups than I can. I think we did
Heck
that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, heck yeah. Can you? I was about to say, can you? But I should just say, how many pull-ups do you think?
Oh, no.
We got a pull-up bar right over there.
Right. None yet, but my goal is 10.
Nice,
It's
nice.
coming.
Okay, so what I was gonna get at, I'm being honest, man. I can't eat grilled chicken and like spinach every day,
I don't eat that either.
or like rice and like.
And you don't have to. Here's the misconception about meal prepping. I get this all the time. And I get this like panic look when I say you should meal prep. Okay.
That's
so-
where I'm at. I'm like, I hate it.
Okay.
I
So
hate it.
what's your favorite food? Don't say McDonald's because I'll probably choke you. So pick something else.
Let's go with right now bacon wrapped asparagus,
Okay. And what else for protein? Let's say
Wings.
wings and
Wings.
fries.
and fries. Okay. All right. Do you have an air fryer?
I do.
Okay. Here
I
we
do
go.
have an air fryer.
But you're not eating air fried fries. That's not.
Yeah,
That's a
right.
false narrative.
Well, I get the frozen ones and put them in the air fryer sometimes.
So here's the deal
but-
with meal prepping. So basically, you take something you enjoy eating.
Mm-hmm.
You make sure there's a protein, there's a carbohydrate, there's a fat, and you cook a large amount of it,
But don't eat a lot.
and you break it into separate meals.
That's another problem I have. Like I eat like it's like okay, I'm full, but there's like 30% of the food. It's like what am I gonna do with that? I'm not gonna throw it away.
So
I'm not gonna save
Can't
it.
Then
waste
you
it.
got lunch for tomorrow.
But I don't because it's only like 30%. I'm
Right.
like, ha!
So it's
be
one of those
pissed at
things
my-
where you're just going to have to calculate a lot of food and just break it up in the
Yeah,
beginning.
I do that too. I'm like, I don't want to waste it. You know, like,
And the
then-
air
and then I'd be
fryer,
like,
right? And the air fryer is probably one of the best inventions ever. I feel like because it can take away that fried processed food, and you can have something very similar to it.
so like I was hearing the other day, like people like demonize potatoes a lot, but it's not really the potatoes. It's just the frying of it, right?
Yeah, and it depends on, can you digest the potato, and do you, what's going on with the thyroid, or should you be staying away from those nightshades? Sweet potatoes are fabulous for you. If you like sweet potato fries, you can make those in the air fryer. So basically, if let's say you like pulled pork, throw a pulled pork in the crock pot, let it go for 6 hours.
Is
Make
pork
your-
okay? Some people be like, say it's like the.
That's your preference.
Meat is
I
meat,
don't-
right?
I can't.
I feel like meat is meat.
Not all meat's created equal.
Okay.
I just like that's like a health question, like not even like a religious with the pork or anything, but just like I heard like pigs don't eat healthy things like chicken, maybe. But I guess.
I'll give you my opinion, and it's totally my opinion.
Okay.
You take it for whatever it's worth. Looking how the U.S. raises our meat. Okay, you got small pens. They're fed whatever. They're fed garbage, right? Especially pigs, and they're high stress. And so when animals go to slaughter and they know they're going to slaughter, what happens? They release hormones. They release fight or flight hormones that go into the tissues, right? Sharks do the same thing. When they're fighting and you catch a shark offshore, let's say you're fishing, and you don't kill and bleed that shark right away, it's released a crap ton of hormones into the meat. And now you have this kind of toxic, really tough meat, right? Same thing with pigs. So not only if you're not getting organic, you're getting the hormones, you're getting the garbage that's fed to them, all the grain that's sprayed with the pesticides. They have high stress hormones being released into the meat. And there's a high concentration of parasites. And so, and now you have this product, this other white meat. I remember back in the 90s, it's like, oh, eat the other white meat.
The other white meat, yeah.
Okay, well, that other white meat has parasites, has all kinds of stuff in it, unless it's locally grown. And you're going to have to cook that meat until it's completely.
But
completely.
Couldn't we say like the same thing about beef though now?
You could.
Like the factory farming and stuff, because they can't be in too different conditions.
And it goes for all meats, unfortunately, in the U.S. It's just how it's mass production.
So it's better to just try to get a local like
Local,
farm
absolutely.
raised. So so then pork might not be bad than if you had got it from a local person
Right.
versus a.
Okay.
And also, like, if you go back to your blood type, some blood types do not want you eating pork.
So I'm interested in that. I want to check that out
Yeah.
because that sounds interesting.
All right, but I cut you off though. So you were saying we put the pork in the crock pot.
Right. Cook it down. If you like, however you like it, right? Dry rub, barbecue sauce, whatever. And then you have your side dish. Whenever it's done, however amount of food that you usually eat, portion it into meals. So now you don't have to worry about lunch or dinner the next day.
How many meals do you eat a day?
5.
Ooh.
Whoa.
But they're
I
small.
was expecting you to say like 2 or something like that.
No, they're small.
Do you intermittent fast?
Yes and no.
Like time what you do like 11 to 8 p.m. or something?
So before I was training for this event in November, I was intermittent fasting. So I would eat around 11 a.m., 12, and then I would stop eating around 6-ish. And so, I get my body time to recover, but I was also trying to figure out what was going on with my body and trying to cut some of the inflammation. But, if you don't give your body time to process what you've eaten and to absorb the nutrients and get rid of what it doesn't need, you're just compounding it. And so now the body's like, oh, there's so much stuff in here. We got to save it. So now it gets saved as fat.
Sorry. What can you break down the 5 meals? Like
Yeah.
you said, they're small. I'm interested. I would like to eat 5 different meals.
Well, they're okay, sure. Okay, so let's say I heavy lift 4 days a week, and I do cardio, which is swimming 1 day a week. So 5 days a week I'm active. 2 days is
Heavy lift 4 days a week,
moderate to heavy lifting,
and then the 1 day you do swimming. Okay.
and then you have 2 rest days. So on the training days, so before you work out, if you're going to lift, not cardio, if you're going to lift weights, you have to have nutrients in your body. You should not be lifting on an empty stomach.
I don't like eating, but maybe it's because I eat too much.
I didn't
throw
either.
up.
And my trainer's like, girl, if you don't eat.
Yeah, I feel that too because like I was saying, like a year ago, 6 months ago, when I was really like trying to like not eat a lot, I would just feel weaker
Super weak.
in the gym for sure, and like you couldn't push it up. So like now we started kind of like having just something small right before we go in.
Because you have fuel,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
your body's not pulling from reserves in the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I was like, when you don't have it, then you start. There's a hormone in your muscles that your muscles will break down if you don't have the sugar right then to give you the fuel, and
And the body's going to be like,
muscles.
stop doing it. That's why it makes you tired and exhausted. It's like, you need to stop. We don't have any more energy to expend.
Yeah.
We don't have any more
Interesting.
ATP to put for an output. So let's say every morning I get up at 4:30 in the morning,
Whoa.
regardless if I train or not. Why? Because if I don't maintain a disciplined schedule and lifestyle, there's going to be a day where I'm like, oh, I'm not going today. I don't feel good, or I'm tired, or I just don't want to do it.
That's
or
me.
I'm sore. No, every day 4:30. I don't care. I'm getting up. So 4:30 I get up. About 5:30 I'm at the gym. So on the way to the gym, I'm drinking my black coffee with some collagen powder in it, which provides protein. I have organic turkey sausage, and then I'll have like a flourless organic Ezekiel muffin. So I have all my macros there. And then after the gym, within that first hour of getting done with the gym, now I have my second meal, which is usually some sort of protein that I've either making a shake or I make into like an oatmeal with fruit. And then it comes into the meal prepping. So The third meal could be sliced turkey and hummus and some sort of vegetable or salad. The next meal might be brisket, sweet potato, green beans.
Now, how much of these do you weigh them out, or
Absolutely.
you weigh it?
Weigh it.
Yeah, on her
Measured.
website, it's got like, or I don't know if it's on your Facebook or website or something, but it might have been older too. Like when it's like on the scale, on the
2
scale, on the
weeks ago.
scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say meal number 4 and 5, 3, 4, and 5. So if I'm eating beef, it's about 3 ounces. So 3 ounces of beef, 5 to 6 ounces of sweet potato, because that's my primary source of carbohydrate. And then 6 ounces of a vegetable, a green vegetable, whether it be asparagus or green beans or broccoli or kale.
Whoa,
So you really can't half-ass it, man. You really got to like.
that's crazy. Like
That's like our problem.
it's a science. Like you know how
Yeah.
much you can lose, or you know, like
Well,
what's-
when you're going towards a goal, you have to manipulate what you're eating. That's how it's not about lifting more or doing more in the gym. It's about manipulating what you're putting in your mouth. It's about manipulating what you're eating.
So, do you know? Like this is gonna sound stupid. I'm sorry, but do you like know what you're eating tomorrow for dinner?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. John, she
Do
gets
you
up at
know what-
4:30 in the morning. She definitely knows.
Do you know what you're eating Tuesday for dinner? How far out do you think it goes?
I know I'm going to have beef or fish, and I know it's going to be sweet potato or it's going to be a green.
You don't get like bored
No. You know what's boring? Is
Being
being
fat.
sick. It's being overweight.
Yeah,
and
it
being
is.
sick.
Being fat and lonely is very boring.
That's what's boring. Yeah, absolutely. And some people ask me, like, how can you eat the same thing every day?
Yeah,
And,
I'm like, come on, man.
and the problem is the mindset of food. What is food designed to
My
do?
friend
Fuel
told
the
me
body.
that. My friend told me that. Shout out to fam. He says, John, you're eating for pleasure. I'm eating for necessity.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He's
Now, every
like,
once in a while, do I want to have pizza? Of course. But
do you?
no, because you know what's going to happen?
Come on.
I'm going to be sick.
Ah! Like
So it's
your
like-
body is just going to reject it type thing?
The repercussions of what's going to happen to me eating something my body doesn't want.
So I like the idea of
This
that
is what
too.
I
As long
want.
as you keep the door closed, you know that's like cracking the door. If
So
you-
Right. As
like-
soon as you go and you go off and you eat an Oreo, 2, 3, 5, 6, now you're on a binge.
yeah, if it's okay
What's-
once, it's okay twice.
Yeah.
What's mentally going on with me right now? Like, I'm saying like
Because I'm a mind reader.
I'm saying like I don't like what you're saying.
I know you don't.
Like
I feel it
that's what it's like. So it's like
because you're not ready. You're not ready. There's something there that you're not ready to do. You need some cranial sacral work.
What is that?
Something else that we do, but it's really tapping into the emotional aspect of why you're having so many issues.
Yeah, I've seen that also. I was going to ask you. That's like when you like press on around the sacral, right, and it like adjusts the flow of the spinal fluid. Is that what it is?
It's manipulating the sacrum and the cranial bones. It's very powerful. Yeah.
yeah, well,
Concussions, TMJ.
I've had a lot of
Vertigo.
concussions.
I bet.
that's like migraines too. So when you do that, you're like what, building up the pressure of the spinal fluid, or
You're releasing it,
Releasing it.
because sometimes there's spots in the spinal column where it's stuck, or actually in the brainstem area itself, it's stuck. And so a lot of people with unresolved like thyroid issues, pituitary gland issues, pain, they can't figure it out because there's so many bones that could be stuck that are pressing on it, and it's super gentle, especially with concussions. Concussions are huge because what happens depending on where the concussion's at, the body's going to kind of stop movement at all cost. Now your cranial bones are supposed to move, right? Cranial bones surround the entire top of the skull. So when they get fixated and they're not moving, you're not getting any flow. So that just goes down the road to Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and different conditions like that. Do you have headaches?
You know what's crazy? As of recently, I've had a headache, but I think it's just because I've been like Ubering a lot more recently, and it's just being in the sun and stuff. But not normally. I drink a lot of water, so I try and stay hydrated.
That's awesome.
But I don't have a lot of headaches, but I can tell when I do, and it's from either not eating or not drinking water.
And so just thinking about, let's say if somebody gets into a car accident and they have whiplash, right? Mm-hmm. It was a head-on collision. What you see coming at you and then the impact, now there's PTSD, there's an emotional component, there's fear, there's anxiety, there's panic. All that gets stuck in that injury. You know, you think that you've gotten past it fine, but what happens is one day you have another close call. All that stuff comes out. So it's really beneficial to have work like that done if you know you have a lot of, you know, emotional issues going on or a lot of mental blocks going on.
I definitely have that. And I'm definitely going to reach out to you about cranial sacrum.
It was pretty interesting. I was reading about it on her thing.
I'm definitely, you know, I should do it and then we should record it.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. I'll put it on the website, make it famous.
Awesome. I would love to. This is a question that I kind of have here. There's a lot of like trends, like a lot of different diets. We were just talking about one. You brought up that what's the one? It's like famous keto.
That's what she said. She said keto fad. If
Yeah.
you got that.
Yeah. And so when I heard you say fad, it brought up one of these questions. It's like I'm a part of the old school eat steak and potatoes and vegetables and work out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that's the exact right way, but I'm trying to say is there's the old school, like there's one way to pretty much do it. Then you have all these different fads. I'm not hating on the fads, but do you think there's something to new age science, or do you think, hey man, there's really one way to do it? You know, you gotta like calorie in, calorie out. Or do you think there's like, I don't really like.
I think each fad has its benefits and its discrepancies, right? So since we're talking about keto, let's throw keto out there. There's a couple of different ways to do keto and to get into ketosis and to actually start burning fat instead of reserve sugar or glucose. I feel like people are going about it in a horrible way, right? Bacon, oil, heavy butters, creams, like heavy trans like fats.
Are animal fats trans fats?
They do have some trans fats.
Okay.
Instead of avocados, olive oils, you know what I mean? Like there's a big difference in bacon fat and olive oil for the nutrient content and how the body can process that. And not for nothing, what's happening in the gallbladder? You know what I mean? So if somebody has their gallbladder removed, what do? They put them on a low-fat diet because the gallbladder is helping to process some of that. If you're overloading it with all these really heavy, unfiltered, these processed fats, what do you think the body's doing?
Overworking?
It's overworking. It's becoming toxic. Yeah, you're going to lose weight in the beginning, but you're going to have a heart attack like 8 months down the road. Or you're going to have your gallbladder out. So I think there's extremes to every fat diet. There's, extreme here, extreme there. There's a doctor, I have a book in my office, I can't recall his name, but it was like the real way to do keto or the healthy way. And it was all based on green vegetables, avocados, olive oils, more like a Mediterranean keto. So it followed the keto guidelines of the high fat, moderate protein, very low carb. But it was in a manner where it was sustainable. Because the regular keto diet of the butters, the creams, the seed oils, the bacon, that's not sustainable at all. And it's similar to the Atkins diet. But even in the Atkins diet, they after a certain point in time, you have to start adding stuff back in. Keto is to kind of get stuff going. It's to start burning, learning how to get the metabolism working, help you get into that journey where you're comfortable in your body, and then you start coming out of it.
Okay.
But to answer your question, I mean, there's probably 5,000 different types of diets and it's all about who's trying to make money.
So you think animal fats are bad?
No.
Okay, because
I think large amounts.
Okay, so large
in
amounts.
my opinion, I think large amounts.
Because we have BLTs once a week, but again, a conspiracy theorist. There was like a huge correlation between like when they like started having like large scale processed oils and people got off of the animal fats. Is that just because it's overall more consumption, you think?
Oh, it's way too much consumption.
Or because I heard that it's not really the saturated fat that gives you the blockage.
No,
it's
sugar.
oxidation and inflammation.
Right, absolutely.
Actually, so you agree with that? Or
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So just in retrospect, my dad, who is 76, he doesn't have the greatest health because he's broken so many bones from falling, but he's a meat and potatoes guy. And it's crazy to me that all the the horrible food that I think that he eats, and he's still here. You know, and so I can't remember. Maybe it was back in the 50s where people always cook with bacon fat with lard,
Yeah.
right? And then they introduced margarine. I can't remember.
I was
when that
gonna
was.
say margarine. I can't believe it's not butter.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
and the vegetable oil too, like.
Right.
Because I was thinking about this the other day. I couldn't even find like
Real butter.
any like animal like lard.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to switch over, like you have to buy like vegetable oil or canola. Which
Yeah, you can buy it online. I found this company where you can buy beef tallow.
Okay.
But so, you know, we used lard and real butter. And I think this is probably during World War II where we would ship all of our butter overseas to, you know, the troops, because that's what they were sustained on was the fat from the butter. So we had lard. And so somebody came along and said, you know, let's do this. We're going to try this. You know what I mean? And so it's what, 1 or 2 molecules away from plastic.
Whoa.
So that's, I think, really when cancer started. If you really do the research and take a look at when
Whoa.
margarine was introduced and the rate and increase in cancer, I mean,
That's crazy.
you go from natural-based sources of food items, and now
That
you're
stuff. Yeah, that makes sense.
going to processed stuff.
Okay, so all right, so I meal prep. I should meal prep. I got that. And then like grilled chicken. Can I eat bacon wrapped asparagus?
Do you like grilled chicken?
I like grilled chicken, but my thing is like, can I put like sauce on it? You know what I mean? Can I put like
You can do whatever you want in moderation. It just depends on what your goals are.
How many calories should someone like John be having? Like 3,000? Because he's very big.
I don't know. It depends on what your goal is.
I weigh 270. I want to get to like 235.
Okay. You're going to have to cut your calories. I don't know what your calories are now. I'd have to calculate it for you, but
I don't know.
Hi.
What it is either. Let's see. Well, let's see.
you have the body type that you need to strength train.
I need to do like free weights and stuff like that.
You just need to lift.
Hmm.
You should not be running on a treadmill.
Are you serious?
First
seen
of all,
that spare tire,
you
though,
have
right?
back pain. That's number one.
And like hip pain.
Okay, you have pain
from
throughout
driving-
your body.
from driving trucks like this.
Absolutely, you should not be running. That's number one. You need to get that addressed.
But my thing is like, wait, I need to get it addressed before I run, or like, because I don't want to like be one of those old people who like don't run anymore or walk or anything.
Right.
I definitely like walking, but it does hurt, and I almost feel like I'm like, John, you're just being a bee. Like,
Right.
so what do you think? Like, I should
I think you need to get it addressed. Because even watch you walk around in here,
addressed in what way though?
you need to come into the office,
Okay.
and we need to figure out what's going on. Then we need to work on fixing it.
Okay.
And then you're gonna have to change your lifestyle to maintain it.
That's deep. Yeah, you could tell I have like hip problems and back problems. Kind of like I can notice too whenever I
So
see
you
myself.
telling me that you drove a truck, so you were seated for X amount of hours per day.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing all hip flexion, this is a flexion-driven society, Eric Dalton. All we do is sit. All we do is we're hunched over. All we do is, on a computer or whatever. So there is I don't know if they call them cities or counties, or there's an area somewhere in the Pacific, somewhere in Japan, I believe, that they don't have chairs. Everything
Whoa.
is done in a squat. They have like 1% back pain, and that's because somebody fell off a ladder. You know what I mean? So we
Wow.
really, if you ever watch a baby move around, like unadulterated, just let this baby move how it moves. They have usually the perfect squat. They have the perfect crawl. Everything is functionally, unless something went wrong during birth, this baby has proper functional movement.
Then we start sitting them in chairs at a young
We put them
age.
in chair and hand them a laptop, or iPad, tell them to be quiet.
Sit down for 8 hours.
And now they have their heads forward. They got the tech neck going on. Their shoulders are forward, and they have digestive
Yeah,
issues.
I got that.
So,
Tech neck. Yeah, I just seen this thing the other day. Like they have these like sideways stretch marks now that they're seeing on kids. And they said if you look at anybody like older, you won't see these type of stretch marks. But in all like younger kids now, they're getting them. It's like a across the back
Yes.
stretch mark from
absolutely.
the tech back, I guess.
The tech back. We're going to coin that.
Cactus
Now I'm like, what is the word? Subconscious? No.
or compensating.
Okay, so this was my last question about that, and then I like for us to maybe talk about a couple of light topics or anything. But
Sure.
the rock tape. I will say this. I want to let everybody know Kat was the first person I've ever heard talk about rock tape, and it was like 5 years ago. It might have been longer than that. I don't know when it was.
People are probably tired of me talking about it. I've been talking about it for so long.
I see it. No, I see it everywhere now. Like it's in like the NFL.
course.
My mom she's like, oh, look what my doctor gave me. I was like, oh, whoa, that's like rock tape. You know what I mean? I was
Right,
like,
right.
so I don't understand it though. It's just a piece of tape on people's back. What's going on?
So I want to say that it started prior to like 84, 86, the Olympics. It was kind of outlawed because athletes were getting more performance, especially football players, right? And then athletic teams and competitions started allowing them to have it for injuries. Like if you had an injury, then you can have it. It wasn't for like a pre-performance. So I'm usually a skeptical when it comes to things, especially like tapes, right? Or gadgets or this, like you're going to have to prove it to me. Like
Can you break
pony up, show me it works.
Oh, okay.
You know
Got
what I
you.
mean? And I don't want you pulling somebody from the crowd.
Yeah.
I'm coming up. You're going to show me it works. Okay. And so my very first rock tape class I went to, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. And I was in a class full of people. I didn't even know. A bunch of them were chiropractors. And so we're learning about rock tape and we're learning about myofascial lines, Tom Myers, if you're interested in that.
Okay, just real quick. All this stuff also, like more in depth, is like on her website too.
Website, yeah. A
Yeah.
bunch of stuff on there.
Yeah, I was reading about it last night also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
And so we're going through it and, they're taping people, we're taping each other, yada, yada. And so I cannot touch the floor. Like I cannot bend over and touch the floor. I
Right now
I could
or
not then.
Before? Okay.
Probably not now either because my back is tight. But, and I'm like, whatever, this is not going to work. So I had my partner, two young kids in chiropractic school that really didn't know anything about anything. They taped me. And so I stood up in my mind. I'm like, oh, this is not going to be any different. Damn near touched the floor. I was shocked. I'm like, whoa, this works.
Whoa.
I'm like,
That quick.
so it turned into my life's journey. I'm like, I'm going to be a professional at taping. And I'm going to take it to the next level. I'm going to follow the protocols, but I'm going to be problem specific because that's the problem with a lot of taping companies. They're generalized, right? Let's say you go on Rock Tape's website, do this for knee pain. Okay. Well, what if you have something else going on with the knee pain, right? So I came up with my own very specific protocols for any type of problem that I could tape. So what do I use tape for? Pain, number one. Swelling. It will pull swelling out of a joint like nobody's business.
Can you explain to me how though?
So it's the stretch on the tape. So, and there's been research done that too, that you have, sensation and sensors on the skin that it doesn't matter what kind of tape. You can put duct tape, you can put anything. The receptors on the skin is going to know there's something there and it's going to respond. True. However, what's different with kinesiology tape, and this is, there's so many different brands. I use Rock Tape specific because it's a little bit stickier. It kind of acts like fascia, right? So fascia is that chicken skin that covers our muscles, right? It's kind of like that layering, that webbing. And so it kind of acts like the fascia when you put it on the skin. So it's very it's very stretchy, right?
Okay.
And can you see the coils through there?
Oh wow, I do see it.
So what happens is it allows the skin to pull the fascia up off the muscle. So it provides less pain. You can stabilize a joint. You can stop a joint from moving. You can increase the range of motion on the joint. You can increase muscle function. So every time I did Spartan, I think I did 4 or 5 Spartan races, I would call my sister who has zero medical background, right? And I'd be like, hey, I need you to take me. She's like, I don't know how to do this. I'm like, Lee, it's fine. I'm going to talk you through it. She would tape my whole body, basically. I would have zero pain. And going into it, I knew that, because I still have the leg and the back issue, it's like, oh man, I'm going to be in horrible pain. Zero pain. Stabilize my joints.
Dang.
And there's so many naysayers. Oh, I've been taped before and it doesn't work. You haven't been taped by me. And I'm not trying to say that I'm the best, but when I tape you, it's very specific. It's not just throwing, gook at the wall and hoping it sticks. Like we're trying to really counteract a problem here. And so I love taping. It's, if I'm out on the field at a sporting event and we're having some problems, I'll do some corrections, fire the muscle, throw tape on it, and they're good to go. So it's a really great tool to have. And anybody can do it. A lot of times I'll tape my clients, I'll videotape it, I send it to them. You do it yourself. You know?
I did it one time.
Rock tape?
Well, I don't know if it was rock tape specifically, but I had a friend that her foot was hurt and had to like
Cut it.
pull it up.
Yeah.
It was like little,
There's all kinds of
like if this was like kind of smaller and then like kind of webbed out and
Okay.
then brought it up to the ankle.
I mean, you can get kinesiology tape or KT tape or Kinesio Gold. You can get KT tape at Publix. I mean,
So I don't want to put you on the spot because maybe we might, like you said, need to do tests on my back and stuff. But like, do you think if I was like, hey, I have like lower back injury from if I wanted to go to Disney with my kids? Or
I would
something
absolutely tape you if you're doing something like that. However, I will never tape just randomly, right? We have to figure out why you're having pain. We got to correct that pain, make sure you're functionally moving properly, and then you tape. The worst thing to do is you have pain, you throw some tape on it, now you're supporting that dysfunction. You can't be doing that.
Got you. Dave, do you have any before I talk about the bridge?
Oh no.
Don't cross the bridge.
Well, I mean, I also saw on your website that rock tape is waterproof and you can.
It is.
That's like a couple of weeks, right? If you tape
Yeah.
up or a week or so.
3 to 5 days.
Oh, 3 to 5
It depends
days.
on how much you sweat. Are you swimming in it? Are you sweating? Are you getting it dirty?
But you can swim with this for a short
Absolutely.
period, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
That's cool. So we definitely appreciate this very intellectual, educational conversation about health and wellness.
Sure.
What are the hours of operation of your business?
So we're appointment only.
Okay.
Like I said, I have a chiropractor. I have myself, 2 other therapists, esthetician, waxing, mental health, all of that. So we kind of only all run our own schedule, per se. Usually the office is open 8 to 5,
Okay.
Monday through Friday. Saturday is 8 to 1-ish, but it's appointment only.
And where is it located exactly?
So it's across the street from the Flagler Beach Publix,
Flagler.
right next to the Shell Station,
Oh, okay. Okay.
2561 Moody Boulevard, Suite 100.
Is that like the food line, old food
So
line?
yeah, old food line right in the front. There's
Okay.
a 2-story gray building.
Yep.
It's like
there's-
you drive right past the building. Nobody sees it. You know, they see storage, they see Shell, and it's like they don't see the building.
I do know what building you're talking about now.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's acceptable to cross the bridge. That's considered still, I feel like, on this side of the bridge.
Right.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Ish.
Now it's don't cross the bridge that the
I'll say
walkway.
Don't cross the highway.
walkway. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the walkway. Yeah.
Don't cross 95.
So, speaking of bridges, how do you feel about the since you live in Flagler, the shiny bridge that they had that I think they're starting to spray it or rust it?
Yeah,
or
they
something?
did.
They did. So I guess I didn't notice it shining or anything, but
You talk about the walkover?
yeah. What do you think is going on with that? And I heard it costs like $6 million or something like that. Higher?
Dang, yeah.
10 million?
I think that more people need to go to these meetings when they make the decisions on
Yeah.
what we're spending taxpayer money on.
I was
Okay,
thinking
here-
we should go as Flagler Weekly
Absolutely.
and just go live.
And here's my question. Okay. What's the end goal here? What's the end goal? Because so you have this walkway crossing a busy intersection, a busy street. And you have one side and then it crosses over to the trails, right? It goes
Like the T-Docks or something like
Yeah.
something like that.
it should connect
Yeah,
to
it connects to trails. I know
the
it-
trails. It connects to trails of Palm Coast.
What was that Colbert or
Colbert Lane.
Colbert Lane? Those trails over there, I think it connects to the Flagler Beach trails. I
Okay.
think.
Okay. So, but there's nothing on the other side.
I don't think so.
But where's the parking? So are you telling me that only people from Palm Coast can use this walkover because they have to walk back because there's no parking? So now Flagler Beach is kind of excluded. Anybody living in Flagler or this side is excluded from using the walkover unless they're going to walk over and walk back and walk from their house.
Yeah,
And
weird.
there's only half of a sidewalk from Flagler Beach going to
Yeah, they
to the walkover.
Yeah,
So
but once you go over the
what's
walkover,
end goal
then you
here?
go on the other side. Yeah.
they're like,
We just noticed that yesterday because Baby was like, "Oh, does this sidewalk go all the way?" And then they just like stopped, but then it picked up on the other side.
So what's going to happen is people are going to start parking on the side of the road. It's going to become a driving hazard, number one. Number two, whose idea was it to put up something that reflects light? Not
It was
only
so
is
shiny.
it,
It was so shiny.
It was.
it's rusting. Not only is it rusting, number one, but now it reflects light. So if you're driving between the hours of 3 and 7 p.m., you're going to be blinded.
I was like, I wonder if I got in an accident. Could I like sue the city of Palm Coast?
Probably not. Well, maybe. Yeah.
And I probably I don't know. I should have pulled what the reasoning was behind it. I'm sure they're trying to prevent suicides. I'm sure they're trying
Yeah.
to prevent people throwing things off the side of the bridge. I'm sure they're trying to prevent littering, perhaps, or whatever it is they're trying to prevent, or people hanging things on the outside of it, like they're doing on some of these other
Like
bridges.
the flags of
But
the
I will.
presidents.
Right.
I will point out about the poor design of it. That there's cables that run all the way across where somebody could walk out there like this on the cables on both sides all the way across. So
Right.
as far as prevention, I feel like those cables kind of
help.
yeah, like you can shimmy over there and jump off if you wanted to.
I would love to see like what was the proposal compared to what was built.
They're like, oh, we did a good job, guys.
And it was like a lot of money too. Like
That's a
what they
lot
said
of
they
money.
spent on it. Yeah.
That is a lot of money.
And when they did address the shining, they said they were like in a. Remember, I called you up. I was like, they're gonna like 60 grand, and we were like, well, we can just rhino liner that for cheaper than that.
Yeah, give us 40. We got you.
yeah.
How do you feel about like the seawall problem that we have going on in Flagler Beach? Like, they keep adding sand. It keeps getting washed away.
Okay, this is one thing about Mother Nature. Okay, she don't care what you try to do.
It's like,
This
hey,
is
let's
her earth. This is her beach.
Yeah.
You can add all the sand that you want. She's gonna do whatever she wants. You know what I mean? So it's a real problem. I really wish that Flagler Beach would go outside of Florida. They would go to maybe a state or even maybe another country that has dealt with this, with severe erosion,
like Myrtle Beach or something like that.
and see what they have done. You know what I mean? Because who's being affected? The businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Especially when
houses.
people they have to block it off. People can't go to Golden Line and stuff like
Right.
that. You
And look
can't
at all
even-
the businesses that are built along A1A there.
Yeah.
Now, you remember the old A1A going to St. Augustine?
I don't.
You need
know.
to take
I
a
don't.
drive down A1A going towards St. Augustine. When you get down past Crescent Beach,
Mm-hmm.
Matanzas Inlet, okay, there was an old A1A, right? There was houses built along A1A
I think
on stilts.
I do know what you're talking about. Yep.
Those houses are being taken by the sea.
The only
So-
one left is like that white one.
So they had to reroute it, right? So how long is it going to be before Flagler Beach is going to have to reroute?
Whoa. I see. This might be A1A where we're at right now.
Right.
That's
So,
crazy.
I mean, it might not happen in our lifetime, but it's definitely
It's
gonna
definitely
happen.
gonna happen. I see. I'm like, whoa, this road is like.
And then they're going to build a $4 million pier?
Eventually, allegedly.
I was.
Allegedly.
Is it gonna be a concrete or wooden? I think this is gonna be wooden again.
I don't know if they've even really determined that. I
Because
remember the-
honestly, whoever takes on that endeavor, whoever decides to take that contract, it's going to be like make or break your career.
It's either gonna work or it's gonna be very bad,
Absolutely.
and they're gonna like rush them to get it done and stuff like that.
Right.
yeah, and you mentioned before that there's no parking over here, and I seen like a couple months ago Flagler Beach was trying to like reach out to Palm Coast, Flagler County, and like do something about the parking, and they were like, oh, why are you hitting us up for money? you know. And Flagler Beach was like, well, a lot of people come to Flagler County to come to this beach. You're not really taking care of that aspect.
That's true.
And they were arguing over that.
Speaking about that, Margaritaville. Did you guys hear about that? It got approved.
Yeah.
How do we? This is the first time we've even talked about it. That was on my notes just for us to talk about. But like, I like it. Everyone's like, oh, I want to keep it Old Flagler. It's like, do we though?
Yeah.
Do we want to keep it Old Flagler? I know we say we do.
What's going to happen when old Flagler starts to pass away?
Yeah. Have you ever been to like Clearwater Beach? It sucks. Or something like that. Like, or even Daytona. It just gets too much and it's like not fun.
My only concern with it, I don't live in Flagler. I would love to live there, but I would not because of the traffic and the parking. If you're going to build such a structure like Margaritaville in the middle of town, not only are you going to probably close down roads where that's the only entrance to a small business, right? Like Vessel
What-
or like Sunbros.
What? Yeah, that's where it's supposed to go. Like,
Like across
Right
the street
there.
from
it-
Sunbros.
where they do
And
that.
Vessel, yeah.
Where they do that like food market thing.
Right, right.
So there no more food market.
I thought it was.
That's been gone.
Oh dang, they don't do
So you
Fast
have
Fridays
you
or
have First Friday on the left,
Friday?
but on the right, there's two separate
Yeah,
sets
there's
of
two lots.
properties.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's going to address the infrastructure? Okay,
Where are they
going
gonna
to
park?
I mean, that's a good point about like the plaza and all that stuff. There's going to be nowhere to park, especially once
So they're
they
going to have
build.
parking on. I think it's 3 stories, right?
Mm.
So the first level is going to be parking, but it's not going to be able to accommodate for 300 rooms.
Yeah.
So
Sunbros isn't gonna
So
have.
we're going to ask Flagler
they
County
have
right now,
4
Flagler
stuff.
Beach. Is there a piece of property somewhere within, maybe 10 blocks of downtown that we can put a parking garage? Look what St. Augustine did. Okay, now St. Augustine, granted, probably has more space than we do, right? Is there a place that a parking garage can be put? Not only are you going to generate revenue for the city and the county, right? You're going to increase taxes for this parking garage because everybody's probably going to be like, hell yeah, I'll pay an extra 1% so people start parking in my yard. And it's going to be able to increase traffic to Flagler Beach as Flagler Beach needs more traffic. But it's going to be accommodate the parking too.
Mm-hmm.
So
The library parking would be a good spot, possibly.
All we have is that sand lot. What about like? There's like those. There's the park right there, and it's like a city hall maybe or something like that. Like,
That's the library.
oh, that's
With
the
the basketball
library.
course and stuff like that. Yeah, with the T-Dock entrances. That'd be a decent spot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not gonna
Ish.
tear that down. Move that somewhere else. Like, it's just a small building. Like, you could put that building anywhere, but that's space right there.
So you're already changing around Flagler, though.
and you got to
Yeah.
make sure that area doesn't flood.
That too,
True.
which is a big
Because
thing.
look
That's
at
the
the
whole
fire
thing here
department
too.
and the police station. It's like underwater over there.
Oh man, that's true.
Yeah,
Wow, because you can't even like insure a lot of stuff over here
Yeah, that's
because
true.
of flood regulations.
yeah.
Right.
That's crazy. I don't know, but Flagler Beach is definitely changing. Like, it's changing.
And I think more small businesses and more young entrepreneurs need to go to these meetings.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be publicized a little bit better. Everybody needs to go to know what's going on because we can sit here all day and give our ideas and our opinions, but if it's not based on factual proposals on what is what they're trying to do, it's just us being just like the next guy, just throwing our opinion out there. But I think we all need to put our voice in, whether
Yeah.
they listen or not. But it needs to be out there on record because we are Flagler. We are the new upcoming Flagler. We're 30s and 40s. We're the entrepreneurs that eventually are going to take over when the older business owners pass on or they move away or whatever happens. So I think we really need to start being more involved in what's going on in our community because if not, it's just we're going to keep reliving this bad dream, and we're not going to have a hope for the future.
Yeah, it's definitely a real disconnect between the people that do run it and the real life people. And a lot of them aren't even from here. They'll come down, they're like business people from up north, and we can maximize this, maximize that.
Right.
And we're just dealing with it.
Right.
So, yeah.
How do you feel about, how can I explain this? There's a lot of growth going on. Well, before that question, I'll stick to Flagler Beach. I wasn't here, but were you guys here for the 4th of July? Like they've been doing at the airport. I've heard the airport's better than the beach.
I didn't go to the airport.
Did you ever experience the 4th of July at the beach?
Many of them.
That's
I
a
love
lot better.
Okay.
I've never been to the airport one.
The last time they had the fireworks at the beach, my problem with it is they closed the bridge. So
Because people just be parking on it and stuff like that, or
I guess.
I don't know.
But people, so now, come 8 o'clock, you're either stuck on the bridge or you're stuck on the island side, or you're stuck on the land, the other side.
Because traffic, it'd be crazy.
But with that being said, you have 1 million people trying to get home. So now a 9 o'clock fireworks show has turned into midnight, right? And how many times was that on a weekday? Kids had school the next day,
That's true.
and it's with the dunes the way they are, you got to walk down a staircase is 30 steps deep,
Yeah. People are drunk.
and the drinking and just the
Fights.
nonsense.
Crazy.
I think
So-
it was a great move putting it at the airport. It's more
So-
controlled. It's a larger spot.
Okay. So
But I'm nostalgic about the old school Flagler Beach
Off the fireworks.
4th of July.
Hey.
You'd be there like all day, like chilling, like,
Yeah.
like,
But
It's nostalgia.
but yeah, I did hear people like the airport better and town center
Right.
on the 3rd and stuff like that.
Because, if you don't want to go to the airport, you can easily park somewhere else.
at Target and watch it from Target.
There you go. Absolutely. I'm sure people from Seminole Woods could see it. I'm sure
Yeah,
people
my
from
mom
the
was in
Z-section.
my mom lives in the Z section. Yeah, we were kind of at her house, and you could see it just as like we were there.
That's cool. Wow. Airport, it is. I might go next.
Like I said, I think I'm just like nostalgic about it.
You're
but
biased.
but I have been to the town center one before, and it was like more in and out. If you just like going to see the fireworks, this and that.
Okay.
A lot of people
I
have
agree with
young
that.
kids and, you know, and I don't know. I have a problem with fireworks with people being able to shoot them off at home. And it's too much.
Do you still have kids in the Flagler County school system?
No, my son graduated 2 years ago.
Congratulations.
But I have a nephew. He's 13. He was,
How do you feel about Flagler County schools?
I think the school system is struggling.
I've heard we have like good education, but our school board just kind of like, I don't want to really speak on something I don't know, but I'm just saying as a citizen, and I guess if they're a school board, they should know what their reputation is from just a casual citizen. Like, I heard you guys don't have it together. I heard, didn't they just get rid of the leader or something like that? And like,
I think they're looking for a new superintendent.
yeah. And like,
And I say they're
as a
struggling.
parent who went through it,
So you have to remember that a lot of the new teachers coming out went to school during COVID, right? When the colleges kind of shut down, put everybody online.
mm-hmm.
And then the students were kept at home for a couple of years, right? And so the social skills they didn't already have, they definitely don't have now. And so the behavioral problems got worse.
Wow.
And the disruptive behavior got worse. And so I feel like being a teacher myself at a state college, I feel my heart goes out to these school employees, especially the teachers, because they do so much. They can only do so much. The schools are overcrowded.
Especially now with cameras.
Right.
He was showing us one day, like at Matanzas, there was like 4 fights in one day.
Constant.
Well, that was a
Constant.
challenge. It was like a media challenge too.
Wow.
Between who could do the most, FBC or Matanzas. Yeah, when you got to factor in that.
There's too many students in one school.
Social media doesn't help.
Absolutely. And there's no, there's no discipline. There's no discipline at home. There's no discipline in school. There's no consequences anywhere.
Is there any discipline at school? Like, do you?
So personally, I went to FPC. I went to Matanzas for like 1 semester, right? And then I switched to FPC. I feel like I'm not, I don't do the disruptive and whatnot. I'm there to learn and get out. I don't really like school. I just do all right at it, But it's like, I feel like there's a lot of unnecessary, like, if they just focus more on the education, maybe the kids would too,
Right.
If you don't have like security, like the amount of like administrators that are there doing this and that, I feel like, who are you teaching? Like, why are you here? It's like kind of like wasting money.
Right.
When you could be getting like, instead of hiring teachers with bachelors, you could get ones with masters, If we
Right.
cut out this useless stuff, we can get better
But
stuff.
that's kind of everywhere though. Administrators are like kind of taking over all education
Right.
for sure. So that's like a bigger problem.
And I feel like our education is not streamlined. There should be like, this is, you teach this is how you're going to teach it. You need to follow these protocols, and we're going to support you in teaching these protocols. You can teach the students however you need to teach them, but I also heard from some of the kids that, the teachers, you have your laptop, here's your assignment, just go do it, and the teacher's doing something else.
Yeah, that
And
was
then you
the
ask
main
a
thing.
question, and
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
that's
It's a lot of
seriously,
hybrid
it's
teaching
just
now.
it's
Yeah.
no, because in my Spanish class, seriously, it's just like clockwork. It's like, okay, this is your assignment on Schoology. You have to do this, and she's just on her computer doing
doing
that.
something else. Yeah.
Wow.
It's like there's no like whiteboard teaching this.
And as soon as students were put onto these laptops,
They never came off.
No, they came on at
yeah.
fourth grade. You get an iPad or you get something. You get a
Nah, they
screen.
get iPads, and then you move to computers. It's crazy.
So now it's like now the kids are subjective to go learn on your own. We're kind of here, you know.
You know,
I got a really good point here. And with like math classes too, it's like when you take pencil and paper is just better for some subjects because like if I can't even say the number of times that I've gotten a question wrong because of a misclick on a computer. It's like
Right.
I knew this, you know. It's like that's why I actually like my math teacher, and my math teacher knows you, Miss Perry.
Miss Perry.
Miss Perry, yeah, actually, she's rough, but she's fair. I like Miss
Okay.
Perry.
Rough but fair.
And it's like she did her stuff on Schoology and on paper, but she always did her tests on paper, which I loved because it was just like you can see it being worked out. The computers are just, it's not the right move for some classes.
Right.
Some things are better on paper.
And you have to look at each individual student in your class. And I know your class probably had, 25, 30 students in it?
There was a little less. Kids were dropping out. By the third quarter, there was I'd say 18.
So what's to say if you have a handful of students that can't learn by visual learning? They can't learn from looking at something on a computer. And then what if you have a handful of students who can't learn auditorily when you're speaking to them and lecturing to them?
And it just goes fast. Like, oh, we're on to chapter 4 now. It's like,
Yeah, and what
I didn't
happens
even-
if you have a handful of students that have to learn tactile? They have to touch, feel, they have to write. So what you did, you gave them a computer and told them to go do an assignment and good luck.
yeah.
And so now you have all these students failing. And who's to say that parents are involved, not involved?
And another question I've always had is like, oh, it's like I kind of get it, but it's like, why am I not allowed to use my phone or a calculator? It's like, what? I don't know. It's like,
I feel like we have stopped preparing our kids for real life.
Yeah,
That's
there's like
kinda what it
no
is.
critical thinking.
it's
all.
like, bro, I'm gonna
It's all
have.
like-
What if you don't have a calculator? What do you? Then I guess we're not gonna open up the restaurant. I don't know because we don't have calculators. Like, there's calculators. Like, why would we not have a calculator? But I don't know, man. It's like you said, just teaching for real life. Like, I know we could do it without it, but they do it a little bit too much. It's like, bro, this test is kind of stressful.
Right.
Like, why can't you tell me what I got wrong and let me try it again or something like that? I don't know.
Right.
It's just like, you failed. Go over there with the failures. It's like, what?
But how much of that is just like Flagler versus the overall?
It's probably
education,
everywhere.
you know what I mean? Like, I feel like Flagler's just like everyone else because of the way that they're funded and whatnot too, and the standardized testing and
Yeah,
everything.
we're not going to get into Florida schools right now. But, yeah, I'm scared for our future.
And I think a lot of it is because a lot of children are raised by a single parent or there's no parent in the household at all. And they're not being raised how to be adults and responsible and respectful. I would love to start a program here. They started one in Louisiana in a high school because this school in Louisiana had 27 fights.
Wow.
It was just a nightmare.
Wait, I think it was in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Was it Shreveport?
Where like the dads came to school
Right.
and stuff? Yeah.
So I would love to start a mentoring program. Look how many retired vets you have here. Look how many retired police and fire and
That's a good point. If you just had, because the dads were just there, so like, if you think about starting a fight, they're like, bro, just talk it out or something. They would just be there.
and what's
'Cause
to
a lot
say
of
that a
these-
student doesn't have a really bad day and scores horribly on a test
He's
and then
just mad.
acts out? Could that
Kids
be
are making
prevented?
fun of them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So fights would decrease in the schools if you had mentors and you had people walking around talking to students.
Shout out Shreveport, Louisiana. My boy right here, he's from Shreveport, Louisiana. I used to live there.
Awesome.
But and I believe that school was Green Oaks, the school there. Shout out Green Oaks. But it is like you said, just I don't feel like they're being prepared. These computers is very microwave. Let me ask you this. With a kid who graduated, is there pressure maybe from your peers, or I obviously don't want to say did you pressure your kid, but like to go to college
No.
right after?
No,
or
absolutely not. College is for the student or the person who wants to go to med school, wants to be an attorney, wants to be a teacher. I will 100% be a proponent of trade schools or military. Because if you have a plumbing emergency at your house and you call a plumber, guess what? You're not getting one. You can wait 2, 3, 4 weeks and you have water shooting out of your pipes, right? All the people who are in the trades now are older, you know? And I really feel like the schools need to do a better job at really pushing trades, you know? I feel like kids have such a horrible experience in high school because of everything that's going on. And they're like, thank God I'm never going to school again. But now what? Now you work in a restaurant, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You work at, nothing's wrong with working at Dunkin' Donuts, but that's not a career,
right.
you know? What if shit hits the fan and you need to have a trade? What are you going to know how to do? Make coffee like That's not a trade. That's not a
That-
skill set.
It's crazy because I felt that way about truck driving. You know, I was like, when I get older, because like I might have talked to a female that I was with or something and had this whole conversation about men and women, jobs, dynamics. And she's like, you want me to cook, but you don't know how to build anything. And I was like,
Wow.
she's right. You know what I mean? So then I learned these skills and stuff like that. But, you know, I think it is very important for us to learn these skills.
Absolutely.
And it is important for us to have doctors. But, you know, I do feel like not only are they speeding through, but they're also still kind of pushing. I think they're doing it less now, but definitely in my age, it was like, if you didn't go to college, you're a loser.
Right. Right. And having a trade or going to trade school, learning a trade is a sense of accomplishment, right? Once you're able to build something or do something or recreate something,
Right.
that really changes your perspective on life.
And it's low cost, high income.
It's super low cost. Daytona State College, I want to say like their welding program's like $3,500.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And they do
my
payment
program
plans.
is $4,000. The electrician program is super cheap. You know what I mean? And a lot of these programs you can intern or apprentice, and you're making money while you're learning.
Yeah,
I mean, that should be what's pushed.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Dave, is there?
No, I think I was going to say also too that we're gonna go, not necessarily after this, but we're gonna like release some footage of the place in the storefront so people can get a look of her facility as well.
Definitely. Last question,
Sure.
completely left field. How do you feel about them saying aliens are real and stuff like that lately?
Okay, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that. Remember when I said pain is never where pain is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm going to say that distractions are manufactured.
Mm.
So what you see on the news is usually a distraction for something else that's going on.
Yeah.
So
Did you hear, just this is off the topic, but that was off topic too. But Putin and the Jinping guy just signed like 14 documents like last week. That's really uniting them too as like a power, but there wasn't mentioned one time
That's great.
in our news last week. It was
Distraction.
talking about aliens. Yeah.
So the pain isn't so. It's a distraction. So
Right.
you don't believe in aliens.
no, I didn't say that. I said there's a lot of distractions going on. You know, if you look at, you know, all the UFO sightings over the years, and it really got popular, what, in the 60s or 70s?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you know, God's a powerful thing, and he creates all kinds of powerful things for a reason. And so if there's UFOs, we definitely know they're there. If there's aliens, we know they're there. It's just, it's been covered up for so long.
I agree. I definitely agree with you. Well, I appreciate you coming through.
Absolutely.
I definitely appreciate you giving us all this information.
That was a good talk.
Everybody, please go follow Kat Jankowski. You guys go follow her business. It's right there in the description. We're going to share this. I appreciate you. Is there anything you want to plug? Like anything else you might want to, anybody want to shout out or anything?
Just stay tuned. We're doing great things. There's going to be a book coming out hopefully within the next year. I'll be having my own podcast here pretty soon. So great things are coming. So just keep an eye out.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Oh, and Coast. I was talking about this with you before. Coast is coming back. Be ready for us.
It's the day of the comeback, baby.
It is. It is. I'm gonna get back in shape so that I can be in the commercials myself. Lose a couple pounds, but we're definitely going to be posting it in the descriptions as well. We need you guys to get back. Everything's coming back. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And I'm definitely gonna be coming to your spot because I got to figure this out. It's really gotten too far.
And then we'll videotape you getting taped.
Definitely. We're going to do all that.
Perfect.
All right, you guys. Flagler Weekly. We are out.
All right, see you guys.